failed 3-time title challenger and alleged woman beater Chael Sonnen got absolutely humiliated by former lightweight champion Islam Makhachev because Chael tried to jump on the narrative that Islam is a coward for leaving 155 and instead of defending against another featherweight, moving up to 170 and challenging himself against Jack Della Maddalena for a welterweight title. But that's not all we're going to check out. We're going to watch what Chael originally said. We're going to look at what Islam said, absolutely humiliating him. But that's not all we're going to get into. We're going to get into some other responses from Chael, which I think are equally humiliating. But we're also going to get into the alleged hotel altercation from years ago that Chael recently brought up because he posted a video apologizing to the couple that he attacked. But when I was researching this, there was one minor detail that I've not really seen anyone bring up that involves Chael Sonnen's wife. And we're going to talk about that in this video as well. So let's jump right into it. So this all started because Chael Sonnen, being Chael Sonnen, had to jump on the Islam is ducking, the Islam is scared of Ilia Topuria narrative, which is a complete and utter embarrassment. But, you know, Chael Sonnen, he is a UFC shill. He is a Dana White sycophant. I honestly believe, at least at one point, Dana White in the UFC was paying Chael Sonnen to push out content favorable to the UFC. I don't think they're paying him anymore because he doesn't really get any views for a over 1 million sub channel. His channel's kind of dying for being that big of a channel. But of course, he's got to try to prop up Ilia Topuria, who's kind of been earmarked as the future, the next Conor McGregor. So Chael had to jump on the narrative that Islam is running away from Ilia Topuria. I actually showed this clip in another video from a couple weeks ago or a week ago or so. I will link that video down in the description if you care to go check it out, where I break down this whole narrative. But this is where it all began. Listen to this.
I don't disagree with anything that you just said. I'm just not willing to skip through the flowers like this is a reality. Islam went up not out of courage. Islam did not go up out of adding hardware to put on his mantle. He went up with one condition, which is I don't have to fight Belal Muhammad. Now, he can sit around and say, I could beat Belal, and I wouldn't go up and beat Belal because I can beat Belal. The bottom line is you entered a division openly that you said you wouldn't face one of the top guys. That's not a sign of courage. That's a sign of cowardice. I don't love the idea. You have an undefeated. Make sure you understand what happened. I know this is your friend, DC. I think of Islam as my friend, too. But let's think of what happened. You have an undefeated, #1 ranked world champion who's chasing you down. He is willing to leave his division behind. He's willing to walk away from his belt to chase you down. You are so interested in getting away from this guy that you not only leave your belt, you leave your division, and the whole thing is only contingent that you don't have to fight Islam. Not for nothing. This is not the way champions conduct themselves.
How ridiculous is that? First off, he's trying to hype up Ilia Topuria by downing Islam when Islam is essentially doing the same thing as Topuria, but also has in his back pocket, he has the most title defenses in lightweight history, 4. So he's defended his belt 4 times. And he's moving up to fight JDM because he's tired of the naysayers who discourage and discredit his career, who say he only beats featherweights. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria has 1 win at featherweight. And also, Ilia Topuria was refusing to fight Arman Tsarukyan, so he ducked Arman, he ducked Volkanovski, he ducked Mavsar, all at featherweight as well. Not Arman at lightweight, but all those other guys at featherweight, according to Chael Sonnen's logic. He says, you are running away from him. Well, what is he running towards? Double champ status, but also a much tougher challenge in JDM. If you believe that Ilia Topuria is a tougher challenge for Islam than 170-pound Jack Della Maddalena, you are a complete and utter casual. Well, anyway, Chael Sonnen, he flaps off nonstop, says a bunch of nonsense. Islam clapped back with nothing but facts and absolutely humiliated Chael Sonnen with nothing but facts here. And this is something that a lot of people who I think maybe only started watching in the last 5, 6, 7 years don't realize. But this is what Islam said. Chasing hype and money is not the same as chasing greatness in the sport. But an average athlete who built his way to the top with cheap trash talk won't understand that. So please see and watch how others doing it. Uncle Chael, hashtag double champ. People don't realize, like, there's a lot of revisionist history by Chael Sonnen and also by the media that propped him up. Chael is no more than a Colby Covington. No more than a almost won the title. No more than undeserved title shot after undeserved title shot. And for some reason, people act like Chael has some type of legacy in the sport. I watched almost the entirety of Chael Sonnen's run in the UFC. I mean, it was less impressive than a Yoel Romero. I mean, it's probably in line with maybe a Paulo Costa. And I'm being dead serious. For the newer fans, I mean, then again, you might not even know who Paulo Costa is at this point because he hasn't been fighting either. But people act like Chael, not really anymore. It's starting to fade away. But Chael and a lot of media people act like Chael is a legend of the sport. He is not a legend of the sport. All he did was talk. And well, I'll just pull up his resume real quick. I mean, first off, look at this horrendous resume. I mean, oh my God, this is horrible. What's his overall record? 30-18. Dude's got the Anthony Smith type record going on. So let's go all the way back to his UFC career. Okay. So he gets a 3-fight win streak here, and he gets a title fight against Anderson Silva at UFC 117. He almost won this fight. This is one of the craziest fights in UFC history because Chael took Anderson Silva down and dominated him for 4.5 rounds, and Anderson Silva came back and triangle choked him with like a minute and 2 minutes left, roughly. Obviously, I think 3 minutes and 10 seconds into the 5th round. So 2 minutes left on the clock. Anderson Silva subs him. By the way, Chael Sonnen then pops positive after this fight, which at the time, the testing was very lax. It was basically impossible to get caught, and Chael Sonnen still somehow got caught. So then he beats Brian Stann, okay, not that good, journeyman in the sport, then robs Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping won this fight. Everyone knew it was a robbery, but everyone knew the UFC wanted to set up the second Anderson Silva fight. A lot of people thought this fight was straight up rigged. He goes on to lose to Anderson Silva, then get gifted a title shot against John Jones because he talked, okay? And the only reason he really got these title shots to begin with was because he ran his mouth. But he gets a shot against John Jones because he talked and acted like John Jones was scared of him with the whole UFC 151 debacle. Then he fights Mauricio Shogun Rua, beats Shogun Rua. That was actually the debut of FS1. And then after that, basically nothing. Look at this. I mean, look at this. Look at this embarrassing record after the fact. But by the way, he left the UFC because he popped positive. He ran away from drug testing, and Vanderlei ran away from drug testing. Chael, I mean, hold on, let me see if it's right. So this fight was rescheduled over and over and over again, but Chael tested positive for everything under the sun. And you know what nobody mentions either? Chael came out and had some sob story like, I was trying to get my wife pregnant. I didn't know this. He was clearly cheating. He's one of the most horrendous habitual offenders in terms of using PEDs. And he was released from the organization because he still wanted to use PEDs, but they had the new drug testing system. So he went over to Bellator and proceeded to lose over and over and over again over there. I mean, this performance against Fedor Emelianenko was a complete and utter embarrassment, but I'm spending too much time on Chael Sonnen's resume. Islam called it out perfectly. Chael Sonnen has no idea what he's talking about because all he has done is talk his way into undeserved title shots over and over and over again, and then fail and get dominated in those title fights other than the original title shot against Anderson Silva. The second fight got dominated. Third fight or third title shot against John Jones got absolutely humiliated by John Jones. But he still parades around and acts like he did something in the sport. And listen to this. Actually, hold on. I'm going to show you this tweet real quick before we get into this clip of Chael completely humiliating himself. I tweeted out this. I mean, this really sums it all up. Chael Sonnen is literally only known because he ran his mouth and almost won the title against Silva in 2010. He's a steroid cheat who still achieved nothing more than a participation trophy. Let's not forget he beats women as well, allegedly. I should have put allegedly in there. Okay, allegedly beats women. Multiple women. But we're going to get to that in a minute. Well, anyway, after Islam embarrassed him, Chael decided to put out this video, okay? I don't know if he directly responds to Islam in particular. I could not sit through this entire 11-minute video where all Chael does is talk in circles, but let's listen to some of it. Let's try to get through some of it because it's nothing more than word salad after word. It's just entirely a word salad. Let's listen. I'm just going to play it right from the jump.
Attempt to recap for you as best as I can. Now, my time in this sport, right now, right as we speak, and 10 years into the future, is the same as 10 years ago, or at 17 years old, skipping class with my buddy Jeff Williams.
Who's listening to this? Who can sit through this and listen? I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit because I know there was a lot of really like hyping up his old accolades, again, embellishing it in a completely unbelievable way that's supposed to be funny, but the gimmick is so old, it's horrendous that nobody gives a fuck about because he was literally a bum. He was a shittier version of Colby, or maybe a little bit better version of Colby, honestly.
They're very few, and it's very hard when you don't have an equal. But that's real. You must understand, I fought 11 world champions and beat 8 of them at 3 different weight classes. I had no remote equal at my weight class.
You guys, he had no remote equal at his weight class. I mean, look at this. No remote equal, right? By the way, he leaves out the fact that most of these guys he's fighting that he beat that were world champions were former world champions. Never beat an actual world champion at the time to win a belt. But anyway, let's let him carry on.
I had not only never lost a fight, I never lost a round. I not only hadn't lost a round, if you got a stopwatch out and went over my career and you wouldn't have 1 complete minute. You would not have 1 complete minute of me lose. I had to leave the weight class. And
so this is him talking about Islam Makhachev. Your guess is as good as mine. This guy is still pushing this gimmick. How long? When was his last fight? His last fight was in 2019. He had that embarrassing exhibition boxing match against Anderson Silva. His last fight was 6 years ago. He hasn't won a meaningful fight since 2013, 12 years ago. And this guy is still pushing this weird WWE character gimmick. I never lost a round. I never lost a second. And you still have a couple bums. Not very many. I mean, look, this was 7 hours ago. This has 7,000 views. But you still have some people out there like, yeah, man, Uncle Chael. Uncle Chael's so funny. Undefeated and undisputed. By the way, he's hawking these lethal hands, which apparently he uses on women, but we'll get to that in a second. He's hawking these. He's scamming everyone. He does 10-minute video after 10-minute video with ads upon ads upon ads and sponsor spots in them. This dude is desperate for money. He's a UFC shill. He sat there and slandered Francis Ngannou for literally years on account of Dana White's dick in his mouth. Okay? And this is his response to Islam. Can't even get through it all. I'm going to skip ahead. I watched about 5 minutes of this. Could not get through it all. This is one of the first. This is the only guy I can't really listen to. And this is the only somewhat coherent sentences that he was able to, tell his audience, I guess.
In a coward, for some to interpret that Islam leaving 55 without fighting the guy that came after him, which is Ilia Topuria, made him a coward. And it even used the word cowardice. Now, I gotta tell you, I don't know if I've ever used the word cowardice.
Okay, so there you go. And he's acting like he didn't say it. Let's go ahead and just skip back a little bit. We're not going to watch the whole thing again, but listen.
He's one of the top guys. That's not a sign of courage. That's a sign of cowardice. I don't love the idea. You have an undefeated. Make sure you understand what happened. I know this is your friend, DC. I think of Islam as my friend too. But let's think of what happened. You have an undefeated, #1 ranked world champion who's chasing you down. He is willing to leave his division behind. He's willing to walk away from his belt to chase you down. You are so interested in getting away from this guy that you not only leave your belt, you leave your division, and the whole thing is only contingent that you don't have to fight Islam.
What an embarrassment. And he meant to say Bilal there. And there he is saying the word cowardice. So he's never said it, but now he's saying, we'll listen to a little bit more.
Ever. not just discussing Islam, I don't know in my life if I've ever used the word cowardice. I had a great line in roughly 2010 about...
Who is listening to this shit? I want to know who's the 324 people that like this video. I'm giving this a dislike. This dude is a complete embarrassment to the MMA community. This guy is a clout-chasing bitch. All he does is say the most off-the-wall, dumb-ass bullshit takes along with a lot of fake news in an attempt to get attention on his dying 1 million sub YouTube channel. It's really quite humiliating. And this wasn't the only response because, you know, it wouldn't be Chael Sonnen without trying to use Islam's name repeatedly for clicks. He also put this out.
There are many paths to greatness, son. Travel yours as I traveled mine. And I will be there to help you as you stumble, as I always have. Signed, Uncle Chael. No. Signed, your guardian angel. No. Signed, your elder brother. You know what? Put them all. Uncle Chael, your guardian angel, your elder brother.
You guys really have to like this video because the fact that I have to listen to this fucking clown is so painstaking. This guy is a clown. This guy is a has-been, but he never was really anything. He's not even a has-been because he never achieved anything other than getting undeserved title shots with his mouth. Probably in more ways than one. Not just talking shit. He's probably doing something else for Dana because he did it afterwards as well.
And in the future, if I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. No. Leave that part out.
I mean, who watches this and think, man, Chael's slick, man. Chael's witty. Chael's really, Chael's based. Man, Chael Sonnen's so based. He said he'll beat it out of him. I honestly don't think anyone could have said it any better. Chasing hype and money is not the same thing as chasing greatness. But average athlete who built his way to the top with cheap trash talk won't understand that. It just accurately describes Chael Sonnen to a T. Average athlete, never really achieved anything than talking his way to the top, and has the audacity to sit around. He's entitled to his opinion, but to make up these outlandish claims and call Islam a coward. Meanwhile, he gargles Bo Nickal's nuts, who quit against Rainer De Ritter, curled up into a ball like the little Penn State bitch he is. He curled up into a ball. Chael's still saying Bo Nickal will be champion one day because he wrestled at Penn State, and Chael's a wrestler, so he has to suck off every wrestler. Meanwhile, he shit on Francis Ngannou for years, saying Francis Ngannou fumbled the bag over and over and over again. This guy has no idea what he's talking about because all he is a knockoff soap opera shit C-level, essentially WWE character. He's a character in this community that, quite frankly, based on his views, nobody really cares about anymore, considering he has 1 million subscribers. And he's batch recording content, video after video, and embarrassing himself. So I'm glad that Islam embarrassed him, but we also have more Chael Sonnen information because Chael Sonnen recently also put out this video. And I've seen a lot of people ask me, Joey, what does this video even mean? So I'm going to break it down for you. And while I was kind of researching it just a little bit more, I learned a little bit more about the case, which we're going to get to in a second. Listen to this first.
Dr. Chris and his wife, Julie Stelflew, Mr. and Mrs. Stelflew, a number of years ago in Las Vegas, were coming down a hallway and trying to get to their room, encountered a maniac. Me. And I apologize. I wanted to apologize for a number of years, but it just wasn't right. It's a whole situation, and it just takes time. But I got to tell you, it has been bothering me, and I would extend this apology to their children. Their children were not present, but I have children. I could reverse the role and think of myself as a child with my own parents. Your parents get drugged through the media and a legal case because they encounter a madman while doing what they should be doing in a hallway, which is walking to their room. I mean, I gotta tell you, you wrote an apology, and I sincerely give you one. I was by myself when I met them. I was on my trip with my wife, and because of that, there was something I had heard, or combination, and you guys had asked me. My wife had nothing to do with the story. They've all never seen, never even put eyes on one another.
What he's referring to, I can't listen to any more of that. Chael Sonnen allegedly attacked a couple in a hallway in a hotel. And then when people tried to help this couple, including security as well as other guests, then Chael Sonnen then attacked them as well. Brendan Schaub then made up a story about how some guy in a hotel insulted Chael's wife, and then Chael defended her honor, which was not true. Chael admits to it here. Now, if you're wondering more details of this, here is the account from the couple that was attacked by Chael Sonnen. I'm going to give you more details in a second, but listen to this.
Turning to their room at the Four Seasons Hotel when they saw a man in the hallway uttering unintelligible noises. They say the man, later identified as former UFC fighter Chael Sonnen, slapped the drink out of Chris's hand.
It was within a matter of seconds. He had Chris on the ground in a headlock. He was on top of me,
pounding the sides of my head, and then he put me in a chokehold, and he was uttering gibberish on top of me.
Julie says as she screamed for help and tried to intervene, Sonnen attacked her.
I look up and I see that she's sliding down the wall, and he'd thrown her against the wall into a light fixture.
The couple provided KS.
He better be thankful he didn't run into me. I'd have had him looking like Bo Nickel against Rainer De Ritter.
SBY medical documents showing Chris was treated in the ER that night for a head injury. 2 days later, the couple was seen at a Pismo Beach Urgent Care Center where they were both diagnosed with concussions. Chris says this photo shows the marks around his neck days after the attack. Julie had a busted lip. According to the police report, a man from one of the hotel rooms heard the commotion and tried to restrain Sonnen, but the ex-MMA fighter elbowed him in the chest. The report from the investigating officer says when hotel security arrived, Sonnen struck one security officer in the face, causing his nose to bleed.
So he attacked all these people, and he kind of got away with it, to be quite honest. He attacked all these people, including a woman, and basically got away with it because they just settled with him. The justice system is so flawed, they just reached a plea deal. And basically, Chael Sonnen, I think he pleaded no contest. Let me actually go back. Chael Sonnen is clear on the criminal case stemming from the alleged hotel attack in 2021. Chael Sonnen, 46, pleaded a no contest to a single misdemeanor charge of breaching the peace and was fined $750. Now, this couple here, okay, was not happy about this and said basically they believe Chael was shown preferential treatment because he is a notable figure in Las Vegas. And it wouldn't shock me if Dana White could have helped Chael Sonnen, with some of his connections, get him out of this. But even though he wasn't charged really criminally and he pleaded no contest, they can still sue him civilly. And what I believe this recent Chael Sonnen apology video is he was sued civilly. And part of the settlement was he had to pay them an undisclosed amount. It'll probably never come out what the undisclosed amount was. That's why it's undisclosed. But he also had to publicly apologize to them. And that's why I believe he is apologizing to them so many years later. But what I did find when I was looking through all this info about it, because I had to refresh up on the topic, I found something very, very interesting, okay? I'm going to read this to you guys. The complaint then states security arrived and was immediately attacked by Sonnen, who allegedly punched multiple guards with a closed fist, bloodied a down guard's nose with a knee, and kicked another in the chest. The plaintiff also alleged that unbeknownst to them, Sonnen had already assaulted another hotel guest, striking him in the jaw randomly. The guest retreated to his room and called security. Per the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Dr. Steph Flug decided to come forward with his story after hearing former UFC fighter turned media personality Brendan Schaub claimed the alleged attack was a result of some drunk guy insulting Sonnen's wife, Brittany Sonnen. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, boys. A police incident report obtained by Las Vegas Review-Journal stated that Brittany Sonnen told police that she had taken an Ambien, parentheses sleep aid, in the early morning hours of December 18th and was allegedly asleep for the entirety of the brawl. Here's where it gets really interesting, boys. A police officer noted that she appeared to be injured and was asked about a potential domestic dispute, but she reportedly said she was unaware of how the injuries occurred. Very, very interesting. I'm not saying Chael Sonnen beats his wife or anything. I'm definitely not saying that. We don't have anybody claiming that, but he's attacking all these people. We know for a fact he attacked all these people in the hotel lobby. A woman, a doctor and his wife, hotel security, another hotel guest who tried to intervene. And it's very weird. On the same night he's attacking all these people, his wife is interviewed and she has injuries as well. That's very, very interesting. As I butchered reading through all that, stumbled through it, I must be a little bit drunk right now, to be quite honest. Very, very interesting. It's kind of similar the way people acted about John Jones in the whole situation where he was in Las Vegas acting a fool. They checked with his wife. His wife had like a bloody lip or something. We don't know what truly happened. But it's very, very damning. Very, very damning for both of them. So Chael Sonnen is going at Islam for being a coward. Meanwhile, he is busting a woman's lip that he had never met in a hotel hallway. Allegedly. We have to say allegedly because you never know with Chael Sonnen, okay? So he's attacking a woman in a hotel lobby, and then the same night it is found out that his wife also has injuries. Just pointing it out. Just giving you guys. I bring this to you because I only bring this to you because Chael Sonnen has the audacity to call Islam a coward, and it makes perfect sense to bring this up now because Chael's posting an apology, and people are like, man, good on Chael, man. Shout out to Chael. Good on Chael, man. He's apologizing. What a good man. No, he's apologizing as part of a civil suit. He's paying them. He's apologizing to them publicly as part of a settlement, in my opinion, based on all the information we have. So Chael Sonnen's a piece of shit. He never achieved anything on the sport. He let his father down, and he has the audacity to talk about Islam, who not only won a belt, but defended the belt 4 times and is now chasing a second belt. What a complete, and I would say complete coward, especially if you're allegedly attacking women in a hotel lobby or hotel hallway. I would call that a coward. So we'll leave Islam to chase a second belt. If we need somebody to beat up a middle-aged woman in a hotel hallway, we'll call Chael Sonnen, allegedly. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. I feel like nobody talks about this. Everyone, it's a foregone conclusion that John Jones is a woman beater, but nobody talks about Chael Sonnen literally beating a woman in a hotel hallway, and his wife that very same night that Chael is out assaulting everybody indiscriminately. His wife also has injuries. Let me know what you guys think. Share the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.